Western Pennsylvanians are suing Insight Global. Just over a week ago, a Target 11 exclusive investigation found the contact tracing company exposed the personal information of thousands of Pennsylvanians.
What is your reaction as you look at that?
I'm shocked.
Over the next week, our investigative work led to changes and calls for accountability.
Today, I am calling on the Department of Health to immediately terminate the contract with Insight Global.
Target 11's Rick Earl broke this story. He joins us in the studio now to tell us what a new class action lawsuit is after. Rick.
Yeah, David, but first we have some breaking news out of Harrisburg. We've learned just a few minutes ago that the state Senate will now hold a committee hearing next Tuesday to address this data breach. We understand that the acting health secretary is scheduled to testify at that hearing next Tuesday morning. Now, as for that lawsuit, attorneys want to make sure that the information is secure, that it doesn't happen again. They're also seeking 7 years of credit monitoring and money for punitive damages.
There is nothing more personal to a person than their personal health information.
One day after filing a federal class action lawsuit against the Pennsylvania Health Department and Insight Global, attorneys representing the lead plaintiff accused Insight Global of failing to protect personal health information after receiving a $29 million contract to do contact tracing.
How does being paid $29 million lead to you using a Google document and private personal Gmail accounts rather than some sort of secured internal server, secured internal email?
That's you, right?
Yes.
Target 11 broke the story of the massive data breach last week. After we alerted the state health department that we had discovered links to the unsecured data, they immediately shut down the links and said employees of Insight Global created unauthorized documents. Target 11 also first reported that employees of Insight Global told supervisors in emails about potential security issues back in November, and the state health department was alerted in an email in February.
The people that were violated, it could be up to 72,000 people, should have been promptly notified that there was issues with their personal data being put out on the dark web. And as they say, once it's on the web, it's there forever.
Insight Global said they hadn't seen the lawsuit, but they've taken steps to secure the information, and so far they're not aware of any misuse of the data. During the news conference, attorneys referenced our reporting.
All we know at this juncture is there's potentially 72,000, I believe, of people that had been contacted for contact tracing based upon reports from Channel 11. So this is, needless to say, concerning.
Now, Insight Global has said it would offer free credit monitoring and identity protection services. The state health department declined to comment on the lawsuit. And again, the breaking news out of Harrisburg, we've just learned that a state Senate hearing will be held next Tuesday morning to discuss this massive data breach. Back to you guys.